guys, with the release of update 7.4, indeed, you can now go on ahead and snag the Cuddle Hearts wrap and add that to your collection absolutely free. I have, of course, made a video to showcase how all of that works out in terms of you just simply go into the item store and enter support a creator code. Once you've done that, then you go on ahead and have access to this brand new weapon wrap. So all you need to do is go into the item shop, press support a creator in the bottom corner. If you use my code, I would really appreciate it. So thank you so very much for the support there. But once you've used the code, you will hit accept. And as soon as you've done that, you will then be given the reward of a brand new and fantastically awesome weapons wrap. So then you go into the weapons wrap and there it is, Cuddle Hearts. So that is what some of your weapons will look like as a result of this wrap, which looks pretty ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna look actually kind of sick on some weapons, just especially right now for the overtime or share the love event. So I think that will look cool. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, that actually looks cool. And the sniper rifle, that looks pretty legit. Let's see what the pistol looks like, the hand cannon, even though it has been nerfed in update 7.4, does look pretty awesome with this particular weapon wrap. So with that in mind, let's get to the update for 7.4.
Alrighty, guys, update time. Patch number 7.4, aka season 7.4 update is live. This is one of the larger updates that we have gotten for the entire season. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, to run through. We're not going to cover all of it just because honestly, there's just so much to discuss. So I will have a link to the patch notes, like the super detailed ones that cover even the save the world stuff and the creative stuff. So we're going to focus on kind of the key elements and obviously focus on the battle royale mode. That's the mode that I play most. So that is the one that we're going to focus on most. So let's begin with number one, and that is the Share the Love for Valentine's event, which is pretty epic because there are new overtime challenges that have been added into the game. There's actually, I think, 20 of them total, but you need to complete 13 of them in order to unlock the reward, which Epic will be gifting to everyone that completes 13 free overtime challenges by February 27th. So again, remember, you only have 14 days or so to complete this. But once you have done that, you do get the Season 8 Battle Pass absolutely free, which is awesome. So I think that was a really cool idea for them to go on ahead and include. Now, furthermore, there has been I guess, bring back the return. Let's call it that way. There we go. That is the right word that I was looking for. And that is the feature of gifting. So gifting is back for a limited time starting now, which of course would be the patch of 7.4, which went live at 4 a.m. on the 14th of February, so until February 22nd, so you have about, what, 8 days to go on ahead and gift folks if you'd like to do so. Plus, in addition to that, on Valentine's Day, you can send the Heartspan Glider to your special one for free until Friday, February 15th. So you only have until Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's a pretty short time span, but you can go on ahead and gift that to your friend or loved one or both. So there you go. That is definitely also really cool to see. Now, furthermore, we get the addition of a brand new weapon, which is the infantry rival. Now, I have run 2 matches so far, and I have to say this thing is awesome. I love this weapon. It's a really cool semi-automatic, very precise brand new rifle in the game. I don't know how many rarities it has in the game. I did spot the uncommon, common, and rare. So I don't know if it goes all the way up to legendary and epic, but I do know that those 3 rarities are in the game, so that's definitely quite cool. Now, there is also the addition of the limited time mode Catch, which I have never actually played, so I'm super duper stoked for this because it sounds ridiculously awesome. In this particular mode, there are no weapons, so the weapons have all been removed outside of grenades. The only weapons or the only offensive things that are in there are smoke grenades, clingers, the remote explosives, porta-forts, impulse grenades, and shockwave grenades. Those are the only things that are available to use in order to try to defeat one another. So it is a chaotic and fun mode. I will definitely make a video on that, and that will be a whole lot of fun. If you guys play that mode, let me know down in the comment section below what is your favorite go-to grenade, and also stick around till the very end of the update to let me know what is your personal favorite update note or patch note for this particular update. From there, we move right along to the updates to Weapons. Okay, so first and foremost, infantry rival. It looks like I was right about the rarity. Common, uncommon, and rare. So I was a little bit worried about that because it was like I wasn't sure if it goes up higher than that. I didn't want to mention it, but now it looks like, now that I've scrolled down through the patch notes, it is the case. So that is definitely cool. It does actually specify the damage output. So it's 41, 43, and 45 damage, and then 2 times multiplier for the headshot. It's a really good weapon. Honestly, I think it's kind of a nice balance between something like the hunting rifle itself and the ARs. It's an in-between. So I think that it's a really, really good choice. And we'll see if it gets nerfed or not. But right now, I do think that it's not OP, but it is a really good option. It might very well be my favorite AR in the game currently. Or I guess it's kind of a mix between an AR and a hunting rifle. So it's in a weird zone, but it is a really useful tool for sure. Now, the bush consumable, which is still here. I don't understand how the drum gun and all these other weapons have been vaulted, but the bush consumable is still in here. It now absorbs 1 instance of weapon damage before being removed, which I think is really cool because that is really neat that you don't have to now instantly lose the bush ability. So if you're trying to like hide or you're trying to, you know, blend in with the environments, now it becomes a lot more useful. So I think that's really cool. And it will not be affected by fall damage. So if you take fall damage, it won't now instantly disappear as well. So I think that that's a really, really nice patch because that was very annoying when you would just like fall and take like 2 points of damage by mistake and that thing just falls off. So it was quite annoying. It is now translucent for the bush wearer only, which I think is so important because it was the most useless item because you could never see anything. It was like you'd have to like scope in, and even then it'd be really annoying to see anything. But now it will be translucent going forward for the bush wearer only, obviously, which I think is tremendously awesome. So I'm actually looking forward to trying to bring back the bushwinger using this. So here's the patch note that I was most bummed about, and this is the hand cannon. Now, to be fair, you could probably make the argument that this thing was kind of OP, but it has gotten damage reduction both for the epic and the legendary rarities. So the environmental damage on the epic rarity went down from 150 to 100, and the legendary rarity dropped from 157 to 105. It's still useful, obviously, and you could still knock down structures like the wooden ones with 1 shot, but the brick and the metal ones will obviously now require a multitude of shots. So that's definitely interesting. And I will say that I'm sure a lot of people won't be too happy about this, but I think that it might have been like a fair upgrade just because recently I've been using the hand cannon and I've thought that it's pretty OP. So I would go on ahead and say that as much as I don't like this update personally, because I think it's a really, really, really awesome weapon in the game, I do understand why it's there, and it makes perfect sense. The rocket launcher also has received quite the nerf, which I'm happy about, because honestly, I really couldn't stand the fact that people would use rocket launchers like close hand-to-hand combat weapons, like as though it's a shotgun or something like that. I thought that that was ridiculous. So it has gotten quite the nerf, and the nerf really comes from the increase in the reload speed. So it goes from 2.5 seconds or 2.52 seconds to 3.24. So that's quite the increase, meaning that you will probably be able to get maybe 1 or even 2 more shots off if you're holding a shotgun up close against an enemy who has a rocket launcher. So I think that that's really good, and hopefully it will make quite the difference. They did shift the availability of rocket launchers out of chests into supply drops as well. So you will no longer be able to get rocket launchers from chests. So the only way that you can get one is from the supply drops that come down onto the map, or of course from opponents that might have a rocket launcher. Increase the chance of receiving a rocket launcher from supply drops from 25% to 50%. So even though people will complain like, okay, well, it's no longer in chest, what's up with that? It's only supply drops. Yes, but the chance of you getting them in supply drops has increased another 25%. So that's definitely substantial increase there. The epic rarity rocket launchers will only be available now from vending machines, which I think is a good move because honestly, it felt like vending machines to a certain extent became kind of very secondary. Like I didn't really see many people use them. So it's cool that now certain rarity of weapons will be exclusive to the vending machines. And I think that that's a cool idea because it then kind of forces us to think of the vending machines as much more useful than they have been up until this point. So I do like that idea there. And we have got a few things unvaulted, which is super duper cool. So the clingers are back. So if you like the clingers or the sticky grenades, the plunger grenades, they are now back. And the Cupid's crossbow is back as a limited time item. It has an epic rarity, infinite ammo. Body shot damage is 79. Headshot damage is 197. So if you have a full HP person and full shields person, they will still live with 3 HP, which I think is kind of hilarious. It can be found in floor loot and chests as well. And it does only 1 environmental damage, so it's kind of useless as far as like trying to take down structures. It's like, good luck with that. That's going to take you like 400 years. Now, there is one item that has been vaulted, which are the grenades. So they have been removed. So it's kind of like a swap. Clingers are back unvaulted, and the grenades themselves are now vaulted, which I think is cool because, again, I think having too many items available is not great. I think the idea of using the patch nodes and using patches to like vault certain things and then unvault others, I think is really cool. And I think that that's the right play to like bring certain items back while also removing other items. So I like that idea, and I'm personally in favor of it. Now, there are some key bug fixes that they pointed out here as well. They fixed an issue causing projectile weapons to fire inaccurately when aiming at other players from very close range, which I definitely ran into. It was very annoying when that would happen. And then they also fixed an issue that was causing explosive splash damage to be blocked when players didn't actually have cover. Now, that I did not really experience very often, so I don't know where that's coming from. I did want to go on ahead and specifically discuss a couple more things. Again, like I said, there is tons and tons of other updates that they fixed, whether it be bugs or the little adjustments that they've made. But the key things I've wanted to talk about, first and foremost, the aim assist snap to adjustment I think is huge, because that was the L2 spam that people were using on the controllers. So they've added a compounding time delay to the aim assist snap to feature when spamming the aim down sight button. So now you won't be able to use the L2 trick anymore. Each button press after the first will apply a time delay up to 5 seconds before the aim assist snap to effect is applied again. So if you snap with the L2, it's like you still get the aim assist because it's necessary for controller players. But if you spam it again, it'll be a 5-second delay before it activates once more, which I think is cool. I think that that's a fair play, because honestly, I was running into a ton of people that were absolutely abusing that feature of the aim assist L2 spam. It was so annoying. So I'm very, very happy that hopefully they have addressed that using this. In addition to that, they are making changes to prevent situations where players would spam the aim down sight button on enemies, which caused the crosshairs to stay locked onto targets indefinitely, which was a nightmare. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This change should prevent the lock-on mechanism from being abused while retaining the same aim assist feel. We'll be closely monitoring feedback about this change. So again, I could see that maybe it's 5 seconds is too much, or again, it says up to 5 seconds, so I don't know how it will discretionarily decide that. But the point being is that it was a really terrible hack for the most part that many people were using. So I'm glad that they went ahead and fixed that. Now, in addition to that, the ziplines got a huge update, because ziplines are now interact to engage, which I think is cool. But in addition to that, you no longer take fall damage, which is so good, because I can't tell you, like literally I was streaming yesterday with Jay, and he went jumping a little bit too early, and then boom, half his HP gone just because he dropped down from the zip line. So I think that it is super useful, because now you can zip line across and not have to be worried that you're basically just a flying target ready to be shot at while you're traveling on it. So I think that that is really great. In addition to that, zip lines now have an audio visualizer icon. So I guess that's to go along with the interact to engage. So it's not just like a jumpable one. I think you'll now need to like hold a button or activate a button prompt to be able to use the zipline. So I think that that's a fair balance between the damage immunity or fall damage immunity versus having this addition included as well. Now, the other thing is the big difference that I personally noticed. The last thing I want to discuss before we wrap things up, or I guess two things actually. First and foremost, turbo building. If you're using the turbo building feature, it has been reduced, the initial timer for turbo building, from 0.15 to 0.05 seconds. So I guess that's milliseconds at that point, which is awesome. It's obviously going to make building even more chaotic, but it makes things a lot more intuitive, even more so than it was before. So I'm excited to check that out. And the biggest update, the last thing that I need to discuss, is the removal of the ability for the X4 Stormwing airplanes to break through structures and large objects. Small props will still be destroyed from a direct hit, but any large structures will not. I'm so happy about that because it was so annoying how people would spam the airplanes to just absolutely destroy everything in sight. Or let's say you'd run into a structure and then somebody would just instantly fly. I remember in Pleasant Park, it would always happen. That expedition outpost up top, people would hop into that plane and then just ram right into the houses down below in Pleasant Park. And it was a nightmare. It was so annoying. I'm so glad that this feature is included now because now anyone who spams the airplanes is no longer going to be able to just abuse them without us being able to fight back. So there's tons and tons of other updates, whether it be audio fixes. I think they also did include now the ability to go on ahead and edit while crouched. So I think that was kind of an annoying feature because I did run into that a couple times. So that seems to have been fixed as well. So there's a bunch of other updates as well. I include the entire patch notes down in the description, so you can click the link that takes you over to Epic's post that has all of that. But we did cover all the main things for today. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. Don't forget to use supporter creator code THEBLITZWINGERZZ, 2 Z's at the end. Of course, it's always at the top of the description box. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll hopefully catch you guys here next time. Stay tuned for guides for the 13 free overtime challenges. So we'll be covering those over the course of the next little while. Peace out, guys. I'll see you all later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.